Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. It's a Friday. Um, I usually like to say TGIF. It's fine to have you. And my guest this morning is Mr. Chooks Nwoko, publisher and public affairs analyst. We don't usually call anybody a Mr. in this place. It's either you're an Otumba, it's either you're a chief, it's either you're a comrade.
Many times.
You know.
And like you said, you don't even have to call it. My name is Chooks Nwoko. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's look at, ongoing news in the form of what do you think about what's going on? Let's go back to Kano, the emirship change in Kano. It's all, very much old news now by now, even though this whole thing is just like a tsunami that happened within the week. But still, we've heard so very much about it. Of recent, Professor Soyinka has, as some have put it, broken his silence, and as commented. But I'm interested, perhaps a bit more, in a headline that we saw about 2 days ago. It was in the Vanguard, perhaps in other papers as well. Buhari not involved in the emirship change in Kano. And this, I think, Garba Shehu, presidential spokesman, one of them, he is the guy who you can actually attribute that statement to, speaking on behalf of the presidency, that Buhari is not involved in all of that. Now, we all understand that there are different lanes in this particular saga. Yeah, there's as Garba Shehu explained, he didn't need to, but he still explained it by way of, explaining what he was saying. Buhari could not even have been involved. Not even the president can remove an Oba, can remove at least not in this democratic dispensation. So, no doubt, from the point, it's not a matter. Garba actually said it was disingenuous, if you use that word, but for sure, his meaning was that there was mischief afoot in anybody now saying that this could not have happened without the president being involved. Or people have even gone further to say the president wanted him removed, is why he was removed. Now, understandably, there's no evidence for this, but there's no evidence for the fact that the president wanted him involved. But increasingly, we've been hearing that from notable people who know what they're talking about in terms of the political dynamics and calculus and all of that, that if the president had actually been against the move, it might not have happened. Now we're entirely in the realm of conjecture here,
Which is a difficult.
But give me your thoughts on the straightforward point of Garba Shehu, presidential spokesman, saying his principle, the president, is in no way, shape, or form involved in any of this.
I mean, if he said so, I didn't see the report. Why will I disagree with him? What I'm concerned about is the role of the president, not in removing the emir, the former emir, but I'm wondering what role did he play in this thing that has happened? Because it didn't just happen in the last 1 year. This removal had taken place about a year plus. We have had
it was a rolling issue.
We have had a discussion here
like
where
waiting to happen.
In passing, I had said this probe that was going on, that Ganduje was stepping on an arena that I thought was going to lead. That was many months ago, over a year ago. But specifically to the question about my thoughts about what the presidential spokesperson said, I am concerned that if I'm a president and this was going on in a place where I got the whole lot of votes for my victory at last election and even in the previous election, where you have major support and knowing how close Kano is to the heart of the president and Ganduje and APC, what role did he play? If he didn't play any role, or he played a role and he didn't succeed in stopping what happened, I thought that is an aberration. Having said that, I'd like to make a comment concerning what I feel about, because I have a very personal, strong opinion about what has happened. I thought that no matter how smart we are or how old we are, as humans, we will always make a mistake. I think that the desire of the former emir, Muhammadu Sanusi II, to go and be emir of Kano, I guess it was an error. But now that this has happened to him, I think he's been released to the place of freedom. But I also heard that he's been detained, and I feel detained because I feel detained. Not just me. I believe a lot of people who have that certain kind of mind that that fellow has also feel detained. I feel detained in my mind, in my head. I feel restrained. And I think that the earlier the world will rise up to free him, will the rest of us be freed into the place of liberty and the place of expression. Because you see, whether the president was involved or not, I believe that in the realm of politics, and especially as regarding the dimensions of politics, there's an arena for serpentine arrangements and moves and discussions and narratives. In that place, I expected the president to have played a role.
Did you say serpentine
Yes,
arrangements?
yes.
I
Because
like
you
that.
can't
I
play,
like that.
you can't
You know,
play politics.
you said it so fast. I wanted to bring it out. Serpentine arrangements.
You should
Okay.
have ignored me. Now you're highlighting it. But you can't really play politics without that diving into that whatever, which somebody like me will not be interested in, because I know that in the little things that we do, there are things you can do over the phone. There are things you can do by sending.
If you're not going, I want to. Sorry for interrupting. I'm just guessing that if you are not interested in serpentine arrangements, then you shouldn't be in politics.
No, you shouldn't.
No,
you don't have any business.
You can't be anywhere in politics.
You cannot be anywhere near it. So if you come out and make that kind of statement to me days after, or a week or thereabout after this, and you're saying maybe he didn't succeed in stopping this thing that has happened, because the danger of what has happened is that,
can you imagine,
even the governor does not know that nature, that when you have a pattern, because I hear this thing has happened a few times in that
it's a pattern.
So a pattern has been established. A smart person who knows that Nigeria has had a very retrogressive pattern or political history starting from 1964, that if you do not stop the pattern, and it's going to continue, and that governor has put himself where nature itself has become his enemy. I don't care how what Sanusi has done, or I don't care what his offense is, but you who have been used to do this, there is a reward waiting for you. Because when there's a pattern, smart people, what they do is that they work hard at putting a stop at a negative pattern. You can't continue to do this. You cannot continue to do this. Because for me, it's vindictive. And you cannot when you act in that manner, you're taking laws into it. You are becoming God. And Governor Ganduje cannot be God.
We're taking a lot for granted. But when you say it's vindictive, I understand you. But if somebody, as they are watching,
your religion, I'm sure talking about forgiveness.
As we have been watching the UK, I guess every Nigerian understands when you say vindictiveness, when you mention vindictiveness. This goes back, no doubt, to the last election, the falling out between Godfather and Godson, if one can call it that. Even though former Governor Kwankwaso is actually younger than President His Excellency Dr. Ganduje. Nevertheless, in political terms, Godfather, Godson. And now they are of different parties, and the former emir was perceived to have been supportive of the PDP candidates, efforts at becoming governor. And so, but as it was, PDP didn't clinch the seat, and all of that was thought to be all of what we're doing now, all of what we're talking about now, including the falling out between the two.
So today is Friday. If he goes to pray today,
yes,
what is the sermon that is going to be preached?
No problem there.
What they espouse? They espouse forgiveness.
Well,
won the election.
I can just tell you that there's going to be very little problem. I heard Governor Ganduje at the news coverage of the installation of the new emir, Bayero. Aminu Ado Bayero. Just one sentence was enough for me. I am very happy, although a lot more was said. But it's like, I am very happy that this has come. So no problems there is my guess as to it. But going back to the president not being involved, and Garba Shehu is not just going to get up and speak like that. He only spoke because, indeed, there were some murmurings that had it been President Buhari's wish to, look, suffer, guys, take it easy, then very little in this direction would have happened. But Garba Shehu said it right, that technically, not that he said technically, but we know that technically there are different lanes. But then this thing that Nigerians, I don't know, we've sort of put a copyright on it, body language. this whole body language business. If it had been read that the president was not going to be supportive of this whole idea at all, I doubt that it could have, proceeded. And by the way, I don't know if, even though what I'm going to say now is not really sequential to what I've been saying, but there was the whole matter about, we heard all manners of stories in the past. Even the former governor, that is Kwankwaso, had queried the now deposed emir 4 times. Well, when he came to speak, he said, not even once. I never queried him once, not even anything remotely looking like that. So you can see that there was a lot of high wire politics. Not that the deposed emirs, many, even his fans, many will be quick to say, well, quite frankly, there is a sense in which he himself was the architect of his own problems.
Absolutely.
He was so too much invested in his principles to pull out.
Yeah,
so he spoke, as they say, to power, if that is the expression.
Absolutely.
He spoke to power. In the 6 years or so he's been emir. He spent a lot of time making statements indirectly, sometimes even directly, criticizing government on the national level. And then in recent times, criticizing government. In the past 2 years, he has concentrated more on social affairs.
Absolutely.
So all the kind of things he was saying and speaking about without any fear were pretty reformist, and he made a lot of enemies, not counting those that he had made when he was governor of Central Bank. So he wasn't...
You and I said on television, on television program this morning, just me speaking your mind and I speaking my mind, you make enemies, how much more?
Of course, it can be a very dangerous affair.
It can be a very dangerous whatever. You make enemies because, as I was coming here this morning, I didn't call anybody to tell anybody that I'm coming on TV. So I assume that I'm coming here to speak my mind and be happy, because that's who I am. You cannot give what you don't have. But somebody is going to be listening and be upset, and I'm not speaking as if I'm supposed to consult. So how much more a man like that? But if you listen to what I said in my opening remarks, I was saying that the man will be regretting that he actually desired to be an emir. He just realized now that that's not where he's supposed to be, because
you can't be sure about that.
Now I can be. I'm telling you,
you can't be sure. Don't forget that the man is a prince.
No,
the man is a prince, and all princes.
So he's no longer a prince now.
The point I'm making is that all princes actually aspire, I would guess, to inherit the throne of their ancestors.
The point that I'm making is that now that he's no longer an emir, he's going to look back and recognize.
That's your thinking.
Yes, and recognize that my makeup and that the political atmosphere we have in the north, because I don't see anybody in Edo State going to be harassing the Baba of Benin, because they have a strong culture in the place. In our own southwest here, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
Don't say that you don't see it happening.
I can speak for our people.
There have been attempts. When you mentioned the southwest, there have been attempts.
Let me make my point. Attempts, you said. Attempts, you said. And the reason southwest is different is that the reason southwest is different is that they can make the serpentine thing that I mentioned. You can make phone calls, you can caution, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
But Egbon is Egbon in Yoruba land.
Well.
Oba is Oba in Yoruba land, no matter what. Now, what I'm saying is that this man will realize now that he's been released into the place of freedom, where he can. We're going to fight.
Let me come back.
And people are going to fight for him to gain his freedom so that he can occupy that place.
I like this conversation we're having, but we can't be selfish because Ahmed in Kaduna wants to join. Good morning, Ahmed.
Yeah, good morning, Yogi.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you very much, and good morning to your other guests.
Sure.
I think I want to make 2 points here. My first point is that it is very unfortunate that the president being seen as the leader, the country, coming from the north, and like you said, having gotten so much votes from Kano State, to just shun the issues like this. This is not, even though we have seen, we are particularly put around issue, but then he, as the father of the north and the nation at all, he should have made effort to reconcile this issue. And I can remember very well, there was a time the governor and some elders of Kano went to the president, and he said that he's holding back on the issue, he's not going to say anything about it. I don't know if you remember that, but there was that incident when they visited, and he made mention of that he is not going to say anything about it for now. and then it metamorphosed into this. And then we had what General Abdul Salam said when in an interview that
yes,
they sent the team, but they don't know whether they can action on it or not. But I think he has this spirit of keeping things to himself. But I think as a leader, it's very wrong. You can't just fold your arms to see your subjects go out of hand. It's not possible. Secondly, I think the issue between the emir and Kano, the governor, is also unfortunate that two leaders in a state cannot sit down and reconcile themselves for the benefit of the state. We are putting personal interests above the people and above everyone else. What I want them to understand is that the institution of Kano Emirate has been there for a very long time. It is an well-established institution. The government of Kano is also a government institution, so we shouldn't fight institutions because of personal interests. Once we don't stop putting personal interests on top of moving forward, then we are not going anywhere in this country. And I think former President Obama said this when he visited Africa. He said, we need to establish firm institutions that will work. It is institutions that will make things work. For example, now the governor will leave in about 6 years. He has dethroned the emir. What if another governor comes out and feels he is not in good times with the emir? Or maybe, for example, PDP takes power in Kano now, and the Ganduje removed Emir Sanusi. So maybe they will come in with this idea of, okay, this is who brought him, and this is why he brought him. So why should we do this? So we shouldn't put personal interest in how we run things in this country. And I hope that you can at least say one or two leaders to have this in mind, that institutions are more than them. We are going to die one day. I will leave these institutions in this country. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, for calling in.
But you know that
talking about the institutions, it's interesting. Dr. Ganduje, governor of Kano, had said that it was one of his objectives was to actually protect that institution of the emirship, the revered emirship of Kano. That's I don't know, at least about a century old, or if not a little over that. Maybe did he say thousands of years or something, whatever. But it was to protect it, and that the way things were going, if he didn't step in now, it was just too much of a price to pay.
It was just sentimental and emotional. Maybe he's talking to the people in Kano. He's not talking to the rest of the country and the world. People are brighter than that. That institution, this man was just beginning to
sorry, sir.
elevate it.
Sorry, sir. You know, we have had a few minutes. Our other panelists out there.
It will make it sweeter.
Femi Sulere, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guests.
Thank you very much
Morning,
for calling
sir.
in.
Yeah, I lived in the north for more than 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah, my adult life, I did it in the north. I worked in the north. What is happening? What happened to Sanusi? If I'm very close to him, I could have asked him to just resign from that throne because he's bigger than that throne. That man is saying the truth for the north. The elite in the north, they are committed murder to their people. What he's saying, what he wants, he cannot achieve it on that throne. He should come out. This thing that happened to him is the will of God. Let him come out. When he comes out, let him relax and come out to pursue his aim for the north. Because the thing that is happening in the north is terrible. That is why this Boko Haram you have is what the elite contributed maximally to what this problem we are having. They neglected their people, and this man is coming out to say these things is not right. If he had been an emir around 85 years ago, he could have been able to pursue his agenda. But now, we have a democratic decision. He should come out, think how he's going to achieve his aim for the north.
Okay.
And not only for the north, but for Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Femi. And I hasten to add, you know, it's almost unnecessary, but let me still add that we're not talking here about the emir is going to court. At least his lawyers are going to court for the purpose of establishing his fundamental human right to freedom and movement and all of that. The emirship He has said God gives and
Yeah,
God takes away,
absolutely.
and
That's the attitude.
he has given up on that. But this whole matter about the illegal, unconstitutional, interference with his fundamental human right as a Nigerian citizen, let his lawyers pursue that while we're at it. Now, it's interesting. I don't know if Olusegun Adeniyi put out a piece on the back page. I don't know if you saw that, where he shared the fact that he had been in communication with the emir for a long time, hundreds of emails, and he drew on that treasure trove. And he let us know that the emir was not unaware of the fact that who he was and how he was it could end up in indeed what had happened now. But he added a lot of Greek philosophers, the traditions and all of that, that the fate that he has now, he was not going to do anything about it because it would be a fate that is for people like him. In other words, he was not going to change. He had to speak out.
He has no capacity to.
Now, the problem here is that in Nigeria, Obas, emirs, arguably are to be seen and not to be heard. And he's complained about that in a different forum, that is the real problem there. But he wanted to be heard. He wants to be a reformist. How far can you go is the point that Femi is making. Femi is making it in Surulere that why is he in that traditional institution? Come out, seek and get political power.
Yeah.
But this whole ambition.
He also had
this whole ambition.
You know that he adores the political system also. While he was governor of Central Bank, you know that the political class and the elite.
Yes.
He's just a different human being. He just completely. There are just things that that irritates him. Even in the political arena, he's not comfortable in the place. But I thought that what Ganduje has not recognized.
Mazi Okorafa, I'm coming to you.
What Ganduje and others have failed to recognize that before democracy came here, even before independence, our colonial masters, when they came here, these are the people that they relied on to rule us, from the Kaduna Caliphate to Niger Delta region. Take him. We take Okorafor.
Mazi Okorafor, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess, in the studio.
Thank you. The President Buhari is not involved.
Yes. I've seen Buhari is not. You see, my Oga Yuri and our guest, President Obama, they said, in Nigeria, we like to blame one another for issues. Like this issue that is going on with our former emir of Kano, Sanusi. Now, if you look at it religiously, is it not generational curse? Why am I saying generational curse? We were told, according to one of these stories in the national dailies, that his grandfather or whether great-great-grandfather had an issue in Gombe.
That's right.
From that Gombe to Kano. You see, when you sit down, that is why when they talk about generational curse, we don't like to follow history. Because I was playing one cassette. I'm coming now religiously. The man said, the Reverend Father Ozele, he said, what Nigeria is facing now is the problem we encountered during First Act. That other African countries came to Nigeria and dropped their food in the First Act and left.
Mazi.
President is not involved.
We are looking at the question of whether or not President Buhari is involved in this whole saga, which Garba Shehu has denied.
That is what I'm trying to put across to you now, that we should trace our genesis. Because what happened in Kano is not different from what happened in Imo State. At least the Ogate knows that. Because you know that when the former governor, before he left, he removed the chairman of the Traditional Council. What happened? They brought up to 5 or 6 different traditional rulers in that very place. But the quietness of that place, everything died off here. So I don't know why that of Kano is raining everywhere. Children are writing jam tomorrow. Nobody's talking about how the COVID-19, how the jam officials will take care of them. Nobody's talking. We are talking about Sanusi, the move. These are the things that, but in this country, I've just seen it. Research have said that every month, something that is fishing will just blow up the OA.
Okay.
All the past issues, so people will just will now fishing out. Well, we don't know what is coming up by April. Another one will blow up again.
I can tell you what we
we
are.
pray into that.
There will
Thank,
be
thank,
Easter
thank,
in
thank
April.
you very much, Mazi.
We will celebrate Easter in April.
Okay, but as to Mazi referred to, the Christian generational curse thing.
But what he didn't tell you, what the Mazi didn't tell you is
wait
that.
a minute. These people, don't forget. Don't let us forget. They're all one family. All of these people are brothers and sisters and cousins. They're all one family. So all of these things, there's a sense in which I look at it. It's not too far removed from what goes on in Saudi Arabia as well. Where all these princes, there are thousands of princes, and suddenly they will just get up and some princes will be clamped in detention. So they're all one family. That is their destiny.
Yeah. Well, you see,
maybe
this
that
story
even
that being
answers.
peddled around about generational curse and all that, I understand it. But what they don't tell you is that the man who is used to perpetrate that thing, like this Governor Ganduje, nobody has ever turned around to tell you the consequences that befall people like that and their own generation.
No, we don't know.
That's why I'm not interested in the issue. I think that President Buhari, I think that what would have happened is that, President Buhari would have just generally sat back and when you get to a certain age, there are things that are just of no interest to you. Think about it.
Okay.
When you get home after you do all this grammar here and all that, you get home plus all the other things.
Well,
there are just some things that come to your table here, please. When you have grown-up children,
the man will be out of office.
If they are children, you can separate the fight and all. But if they are grown, guys, go and take care of yourself. I think that's what. If he didn't get involved, maybe that's what has happened to him. Let them sort themselves out. But I think that you should have aged now.
It was the former governor
and duties.
It was the former governor of Kano, Kwankwaso, who allegedly said that, well, the problem with President Buhari is that the one you want him to get involved in, he won't get involved in. The one you don't want him to get involved in is the one he will get involved in, allegedly.
Yes, but if he gets involved, you will hold him responsible.
Yusuf, good morning, sir. Good morning, Yusuf.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to the guests.
Good morning to you, Yusuf.
Yeah, please. There is no two ways about it. President Buhari is very much involved in the dethronement of the former emir, because if you be following what is happening closely, you see that everybody knows that Sanusi has always spoken, to the powers that be, that look, what is going on in the country shouldn't be going on, and it never went that way.
But Yusuf, sorry to interrupt you. Do traditional rulers do that? Do traditional rulers habitually speak the truth to power?
You see, I'm a Muslim, and there is nowhere in the Quran God said traditional rulers should not tell the truth at any point in time. And don't forget that. No, can you listen to me? Don't forget that as a human being, when you die, God is not going to judge you whether you're traditional ruler or not. God will be involved, will question how
what you did with your time.
What you did with your time.
Exactly. But that is by the way. Whether Buhari was involved or not, the dethronement of the former emir is a blessing in disguise, because everybody is a global citizen. Everybody knows what he can do. Okay. Apart from the fact that he's a technocrat, he's a freedom fighter, he's a public citizen. We need people like that in this country.
People are saying what all those things you've just said are incompatible with the duty of traditional rulership, and that is the problem.
Exactly. That is why people like us who are his fans are not kind of happy, because even when he was installed as emir, I was not comfortable with it.
All right.
So I always say that, why should the guy accept the emirship?
Oh, okay.
When he should be going for presidency?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Yusuf. I've got to rush off on a break. I'm so sorry, but thank you very much for what you said. We got the import of your contribution. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. And as we were saying, our subject matter is whether or not President Muhammadu Buhari is actually involved or not. Of course, it has been categorically stated by his presidential spokesperson that he's not involved, but people are saying that it's a whole tough pill to swallow, that the president would have been against it and it would never have gone on. But so that's where it is. And I also said that we have to be clear that the former emir is in court, his lawyers are in court, not about the emirship, he's left that to God, but about his rights and the whole matter of his being, quote unquote, detained, this whole traditional detainment they call banishment. Now, reports are just breaking that a federal high court in Abuja has ordered the release of former emir Sanusi SLS, Sanusi Lamido, Sanusi. And so this is just breaking. We'll bring you, we have a correspondent in court right now. As soon as we can, we'll bring, you that reporter and you hear it live. In the meantime, you might want to jump on the internet and see what the breaking news is all about. Okay. Okay. In fact, you can see the ticker tape. So there you go. Aha. Now, this has been contested. And well, yes, that is. So we'll see what goes on, because I don't know. Wait, are all court orders obeyed?
Yeah, this one will be obeyed.
This one will be obeyed.
Yeah.
Okay, because
it will be another
we shall
coronavirus.
See.
We will see.
We shall see.
We will see.
But the cheering news is that
if
his
you can
lawyers
obey
have
the orders
contested,
given to you concerning the
lawyers have gone to
coronavirus,
court.
why will you obey this one?
Well, I don't know, because I'm just.
But can we?
I'm just saying that as a reporter, you also can think immediately of times when court orders, they might want to appeal, they might want to fight it. I don't know.
Whatever they want to do, let them do it. But in the place of public opinion, the world is watching. The man has been removed. You don't have to steal or take away his human rights and imprison him for that. It makes no sense to me.
A lot of people,
especially in the age that we live in.
It'll be cheering news to a lot of people that the court has ordered the release of the man from that.
So you can't take away his throne, and take away his right. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any spiritual sense.
Even though
their family,
even though it has been going on like that before. But in this time,
no, this 21st century, it cannot continue, because when you do that, I have headache here. I feel imprisoned with him. Now that I heard this news, I am a little bit relaxed and all that.
Let me bring Reverend Ladile on. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Presenter.
Please go ahead.
Buhari not involved in Sule Lamido issue. That is not. That can never be correct. President Muhammadu Buhari is the president of Nigeria, and to the best of my knowledge, there is nothing that can happen in Nigeria for which security reports will not be written and submitted to the president. That action is an action that can throw the nation into chaos. So definitely, approval must be sought from the presidency, and approval must be granted from the presidency before such a thing could be done. Now, all said and done, we know it is the prerogative of the governor to remove the traditional ruler. He could remove him. He could remove any one of them. And that is what Ganduje has done. But that he wouldn't have informed presidency, no, that is, Garba Shehu may say that, but some of us are intelligent and we know how it works.
All right then. Thank you very much, Reverend. Thank you very much, Reverend. Appreciate your calling in. And in addition to what the Reverend is saying, there are those who questioned, look, the instruments of power that were also used. The police was involved. The SSS was involved. Those are not organs that are under the governor of Kaduna State. Those people function very much in order from above kind of a methodology.
But they can be leased by.
They can be leased.
Yes.
They can be leased. Okay. So who is in control of the police? So without
it can be federal, but if you have need from the state, you can.
Okay.
You can leaves, or you can request, or you can
Fortunately,
seek for cooperation.
you're not a lawyer, so
I'm not
neither
a
am I a
lawyer.
lawyer. So we've just been told that ultimately, the Inspector General of Police must not be against the deployment of police people. So there are those who cited that, particular aspect to the matter of how can you say the president is not involved if organs that are only under him, were used. Police were used. In fact, it is reported that the former emir had, if this report is correct, had wanted to go to Lagos. Say, I think his lawyers, I was reading part of it before this ruling has been pronounced, that he wanted to go to Lagos as a matter of fact, but they said, that's not within our power. That's not what we were instructed. Your family can go on to Lagos, but you, sir, we have to keep you here. So,
we live in a global village right now. We know how it's done.
Let me take Mr. Ayeni in Sulere. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Okuyori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling.
And good morning to your guest there.
Mr. Woko.
Morning,
concerning the issue of presidency involved or not, I think the fire in the presidency presently concerning the issue of APC and Oshomole, the presidency have not really even come out to talk about that one, to douse that tension, not to talk of involving in Ganduje Sanusi's matter. So I think we should know the president that we have, that is not a man that really involved himself in some of these things. So I don't think.
So you don't you accept that?
Yes, I don't.
He was not involved
at all.
Because that is indeed the point that his spokesman was making, and that people that are saying that he was involved are being disingenuous and they're being mischievous.
They are just mischievous. They just want to push the whole issue on the President Muhammadu Buhari.
Indeed. Thank you.
Secondly, this issue of the emir covering their mouth with their with the part of their listing.
Yes.
I think that is meant for the emirs to talk less.
You think it's a symbol? You think it's a symbol?
It's a symbol.
That part of the turban, that the way it is arranged, there's something symbolic.
Talk less and act more.
All right.
That is it. That is just it to me. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for calling in.
But
now we're making the point.
We have reversed. Do you see how we have reversed our society? Because growing up those days, an emir or by Obi, we call the governor to you. I say, this is what is going on and do something about it, and he can speak. We have reversed it.
No,
because this democracy is very new.
One moment, sir. On that area, I think I've also heard part of the conversation being that, look, the things that the emir was saying publicly at national and international fora could have been spoken into the governor's ear because he had access, but that he chose to be a quote-unquote radical and speak publicly, he made many, many enemies as a result of that. And I'm saying it again, this is not even counting the whole army of enemies he must have made when he was governor of Central Bank. You know, the way he went about his job, even as he was achieving results, he was stepping on mighty toes. His language was caustic. I've even heard, I was listening to one other TV station the other day, and an eminent professor from Adu Bayero University was saying that a different emir might not have come to this pass, because what he was meaning was that traditionally Obas don't involve themselves in politics, and the way his former highness, was going about it.
He's been released to the place where he can do that now. But what we need, what I was trying to establish is the fact that before this democracy came, if you go back to pre-independence, the core values of what gave us existence was maintained by these Obas and Obis.
The feudal system.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Caller in Atlanta. Good morning, Mr. Caller.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and
good morning.
Good morning, your guest.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. What I want to say is this: for presidency saying not aware or is not involved, that one is total lie. And that is not what I want to comment upon. Is it not possible to reform or restructure our constitution in such a way that as the separation of power and divisions between the executive, legislature, and the judiciary will also be accorded to the traditional institution, so that traditional institution will also be independent on its own, not under anybody. Because I think they are very close to the grassroots. They see what the grassroots are feeling. They know their concern. They understand their concern. They will be able to voice their mind to the power that be and tell them what the grassroots want without necessarily face the right of the power that be. Because if there is separation of power, if they are independent of their own, this type of menace will not be happening. I think that is my contribution to that.
Thank you very much. Indeed, there are traditional rulers up and down the land that are able to operate successfully within these strictures, if you want to refer to them as strictures. They are what they are, traditional rulers. In fact, somebody has pointed out that they're not just under the state governor. They are even under the local government chairman of their domain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, that seems to be almost like an incongruity.
And also the commissioner for chieftaincy affairs in that order.
So the fact that former Emir Sanusi, that he was who he is, he couldn't help himself. This is the way he was.
Excuse me.
This is the way he is.
And
it's not going to change.
Now, I don't know what he did outside of what I said earlier, that this is just a mere vindictive act. Because,
well, he was breaking he broke with convention.
What convention?
The convention of
the fact that Nigeria is terrorized for the past 11 years by Boko Haram, the fact that in the northeast that women are suffering, and for the fact that you have Amajeris on the road, and for the first time they have a voice, that an asset to that region came from the north and it happened to be an emir that the governor will run to and say, how do we do this thing? Let's start from your word of experience in putting these policies that can you link us to where we can get money either from Saudi Arabia, from these banks that you set up when you were governor? What has he done?
Well,
for me, he is an asset that came from that place that the governor, a humble governor, would have worked for, because even the governor's position is more transient than that of the emir.
Those that are not fans of his reformist disposition,
he spoke to power, and he's not going to stop speaking to power unless, even if you kill him, that voice will continue to re-echo in Ganduje's voice, and in the voice of his own generation.
That's why the man I was referring to...
You are not going to stop hearing the man's voice because you put him away. You cannot.
The man himself knew. That's why I was referring to...
had just caused a problem for himself, because now, it can't be that it's a generational cause in that Sanusi lineage. But the truth of the matter is that, talking from my own Christian experience, that when God uses you to punish me because I've erred, when he has finished dealing with me, he's going to turn to you and turn against you for making yourself available.
Okay.
So, but Ganduje, I'm sympathizing with him.
I
hear that you said that he's happy, but how long is he going to be happy for what he's done?
I'm not saying he's happy.
I
heard him say, I am very happy, as a preface to remarks on the installation of the new emir.
Absolutely.
I don't know about the condition.
PDP government can come in the next 3 years, he will leave the place, and he doesn't. The future, he's not God.
Well,
Ganduje is not God. He's just a governor.
Just to remind again, the court, a federal high court has actually ordered the release.
He can never be God.
A federal high court has ordered the release of the former emir.
And they better release him.
So that's good. Indeed, they had better release him.
Look,
but we have someone else on the line. Tell me who it is. Who? Emmanuel in Otukpo. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chief Yorin.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Same to you.
Yes, I'm speaking with you for the first time this year.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've been on leave. Yes.
Well, okay.
Why is there so much hula baloo about the position of the Emir of Kano?
There's no hula baloo.
Well, it's about his fundamental human rights, which I don't know how you feel about it. We hear that a federal high court has just ordered that he be released.
After for the release, why not? He should be free to move around as a Nigerian. But for his deposition, I think it's a normal thing. This is a warning to other...
It's a normal thing. Was the president involved? The president's spokesman has said no, absolutely not.
Buhari's involvement is not even important. It's not important. And he has to be involved because there should be peace in Kano and the entire country. How come? Now, it's just that we are not sensitive to what is happening. The emir himself should have known that from the very moment that the governor divided the Emirate Council of Kano into 5, he should know that his power has been watered down, and he should have seen the handwriting on the wall. And this is why other traditional rulers should not be partisan in their behavior. He played into the hands of Kwankwaso, and then Kwankwaso is coming from, which is Kwankwaso theory now, speaking from both angles of the mouth. You see, yeah, he played into the trap of Kwankwaso, and the federal government will not be stupid to sit and see Kano go into flames. So, having been deposed, the right thing that the federal government should do was to send security and not security and air power to move him from the domain into where he has been exiled to.
So you are saying that you think that is the extent to which the federal government was involved?
Yes,
for
security's sake.
Okay,
yes.
For security's sake.
So like, we should please not be too much. We shouldn't be making too much noise about that. It has happened to other emirs before, and this is not the end of deposition. They will continue to depose them, as many of them can't behave themselves. Can you imagine somebody like El-Rufai being made an emir? He will not last 6 months because he wouldn't be patient enough in that costume.
Okay.
So he'll be shown the way out.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So this is going back to what we said, and this was the trend that SLS,
I said to you that it was an error on his whole
This
part
is the trend that he was bucking, that emirs, obas are to be seen and not to be heard. And people have to be very, 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 very sagacious. They just have to be so wise. But look, Emir Sanusi, as the former Emir Sanusi, he used to shoot from the hips. He used to worry about not being clearly understood. And so he was painfully, brutally clear, criticizing effectively government policies.
He didn't have, he wasn't criticizing government
Oh,
policies.
yes, he did.
No.
Oh, yes, he did.
He didn't have the conscience to see the Ahmad people having children, marrying wives and having children and giving them bows to. He just couldn't. His conscience couldn't take that.
Nobody's saying the former emir was a saint, by the way. Let it be said.
He never told anybody that he was a saint, but he didn't have the conscience.
Because his enemies have been busy sending out
what was going
matters
on.
to this effect.
As far as he was concerned, he had the things that they were practicing, they turned into religion, like marrying many wives, having many children, and saying them. He didn't see in the holy book. Do you understand?
Now, you see,
he didn't see the need.
I see. You can sit down there and
the
be saying this.
67% or 63% poverty rate that they have in that place. His conscience couldn't tolerate it.
The point is, all those utterances of His former Highness, we're going to be disruptive of a large majority of those in his domain, and he didn't care. He knew it. He knew it, and he didn't care.
His makeup was not for that kind of position that he would.
Whether it was the wisest of decisions or not, well, that's another matter.
No matter how old you are,
but he has written about fate being made for people like him.
But no matter how
fate
old
being made, and that
people
like him actually.
It's like choosing a wife. You can make a mistake. We're always naive, no matter how old or how intelligent you are. So this one mistake that he has made in his life and all that.
No, that which you are calling a mistake, the former emir does not think of as a mistake.
For me, I'm the one here. I'm saying that for me, it was an error. If he was to make that decision now, you wouldn't be able to do it.
I got someone else on the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Debo, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yoram.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been listening, and my position, based on what I see, is that the emir is a Nigerian. He has a right to voice his opinion or his suggestion to government. And I don't think that should be the basis for him being detained. Yeah, the law says the governor has...
By the way, he's been released. You heard the report.
But what I'm saying is that we look like a banana republic when we do things like this. Why would you banish somebody in 2020 in Nigeria when we have a constitution, and you take him 7 hours by road to Nasarawa? It's criminal. The IG should be called to order. People need to be fired.
And I don't care what anybody says. You like Sanusi, you don't like him, you support him leaving, not leaving. That is irrelevant.
Okay.
The bottom line is that the man has a right to move anywhere in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the court has ordered his release. Maybe that's a different way. It's not the same as he has been released. The court has ordered, and Abuja High Court has ordered his release. And so we now
it's not the only one that will be released. A lot of other people will be released
because of this news.
Yeah.
But you see, it's going back to take what Debo just said. Yeah, everything 100%. He is a Nigerian. But I guess the other part of it is that he's a Nigerian that is also a member of another club, if you want. I don't know how to put it. Another society within Nigeria that have their own conventions. And, you know, His Former Highness decided that, look,
Sanusi does not belong
it's not progressive.
Does not belong to the regular Nigerian elite. Don't forget that he does not belong to that elite who sees nothing wrong with the level of poverty and the greed and the corruption that has pervaded our socio-economic environment.
I don't think
it does not belong to that elite.
I heard someone say of former emir of Kano, Sanusi, that Kano has never had as erudite a theologian, religious scholar,
both
Islamic
Christian
scholar,
and Islamic.
As the man,
yes.
Which is fine, all of that. But I guess what this system is now saying is that I don't care.
If he was born in the South, it would have been a great.
I don't care how much book you have. There's a form here, and that form might be feudalism. It might be whatever you want to think it is. It's a powerful. The form that has now spat him out.
Look.
Because after all said and done, wait a minute, after all said and done, his own relatives, because don't forget that they're all relatives, all of them.
I know.
His own relatives didn't rise up and say, no, we're not going to allow it. You appoint me mayor, you appoint me the emir, I refuse to take it. You can't do that to my brother. Nobody said that.
But you see, if you read the history, which I have read, if you're familiar with the history of the Saudi kingdom.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you understand? Not just with this one. Exactly. If you go back in time.
That's why I was saying he's a member of a special club.
Exactly. So
he's blue blood, and there are conventions.
Is the politics, is the power that accompanies these things that is playing out. But Sanusi is a special breed.
Okay, and as Professor Shenka said, this one,
it's a special breed.
There's no way you close the door on a man like Sanusi.
You cannot.
You cannot,
If you like, kill him and bury him.
There's no way you close the door on a man of Sanusi. But now that the court in Abuja has ordered his release, we'll see how it goes from here. And it's interesting. Some people saying that the president could not but have been involved, and other people saying that, no, I don't think the president was involved. He hasn't even involved himself in the crisis within the APC for now.
We have coronavirus, we have APC.
We're going to have
the domestic and the governmental.
We're going to have to leave it for now. Thank you very much, Chuks.
My pleasure.
And so that's our program today. As the program was on, the news came through that a high court in Abuja has actually ordered the release of the former emir, and we'll see how it goes from there. From ordering of the release to actually getting your release, it can be one and the same thing. It might be two different things. That's our program today.